If you're thinking about making the move to the South Charlotte area, in particular the Pineville, North Carolina area, well, this is the video for you because we're going to talk about the pros and cons to the Pineville area. So stick around because we're going to jump right in. Before we jump back in, if this is your first time to the channel or you've been visiting and learning about South Charlotte and you want to be kept up to date on all things going on in South Charlotte, the good, the bad, what's going on, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We'll make sure you're updated every time a new video is shared, which we're sharing them all the time, so make sure to join in. I'm Steve Jarrell with the Longleaf Group at eXp Realty here in the South Charlotte area, so we love hearing from people just like you every single day that want to learn more about the South Charlotte area, so we can easily jump on a Zoom, schedule a meeting, and share everything there is to know about the area so you make the best decision for you. And with all that said, make sure you reach out, and we'll also jump back into our overview of the pros and cons of Pineville. One of the areas that we hear about very frequently here in the South Charlotte area is the Pineville area, and for good reason. There's a lot of pros. There's also some cons to be considered when looking at the Pineville area. So highlighting those with you, just to start off, let's talk about some of the pros of living in Pineville. If the first one we'll talk about is the location. Pineville is located in the South Charlotte area, right at the cusp of I-485 and 77, so you can get north and south very easily to South Carolina, up to Uptown, as well as around Charlotte on 485, easily getting you to the airport. You can get to Carowinds right at the North Carolina-South Carolina border if you're wanting to do some weekend festivities or amusement park. And then it's just right there where you can do a lot of things. You're right next to Ballantyne, the popular Ballantyne area, but you're not quite in Ballantyne. So you have easy access to Uptown. So you're in South Charlotte. Location is great. That's definitely going to be the first reason people look at Pineville, is it's right there, like I said, at the intersection of multiple ways to get around and into Charlotte. And when you look at the cons, well, the same reason that it's popular, the location, is also a reason why it is a con or a negative of where Pineville is in relation to some of the other nearby areas. Well, first of all, the location is not Ballantyne. It's right next to Ballantyne, and it's the difference in those two areas is, especially when it comes to the prices of homes, the appreciation of homes, and just really the ongoing upgrades and new communities and things to do right there in Ballantyne, is a negative of being in Pineville. Just the name Pineville versus Ballantyne is a negative. And I'm curious your thoughts of that kind of cachet of being Pineville versus Ballantyne. The negative of the location is, just like I said, that you have easy access. Well, the traffic is can be very challenging right there. And there's a lot of places in South Charlotte, anytime there's a busy intersection or a main intersection, there's going to be traffic, and there definitely is right there going through Pineville. Like I said, 77, I-485, that you're going to get backed up. The location, or I should say the shopping centers, there's things to do, of course, but that also leads to the congestion, negative experience of being where Pineville is located. So the location, the traffic and the things that go on right there is definitely going to be a negative that you need to take into consideration when choosing an area like Pineville. A big positive for the Pineville area in general is there are things to do within very easy driving distance, whether it's the Carolina Place Mall, you have the Bowl, which is technically Ballantyne, but you're literally just minutes to being able to get to, depending on where you are in Pineville, but it's right next door to be able to go to really nice dining and things to do, like I said, nightlife to a certain extent. You can do certain things at night, dining and things like that. But a negative would be, on the other hand, when it comes to nightlife, there really isn't much of a nightlife outside of Uptown, and you're getting into South End, Noda. When it comes to nightlife, you're not going to get that in Pineville. It's certainly not a party town or area where you're going to, go out all night and hang out in Pineville. Just not happening. But you do have things to do there in the Pineville area, and like I said, the surrounding area. So there are things to do, whether it's on Pineville Matthews Road. You have a host of restaurants, places to, like I said, dine, coffee, but it's not on the negative side, the nightlife area that you're gonna find in the closer in you get to the Charlotte, Uptown Charlotte area. A con that's definitely considered by people moving to the Pineville area is the school system, or I should say the schools that are right within Zone 4 Pineville. They're not rated as highly as schools that are right across the border or the line when it goes to either South Carolina or even into the Ballantyne or Audrey Kell schools, high school that are right there. But when you look at the schools Zone 4 Pineville, they're just not as highly ranked. And I'm curious your opinions, if you live in Pineville, your kids or you've gone to the Pineville schools right there, how you feel like they are ranked and if they are fairly ranked. But when people are looking at the schools and comparing them, and that is a deciding factor, it definitely will be raised as a con compared to, like I said, the other schools in the area. So definitely something to be aware of as someone looking at the area and the schools in the Pineville area. Without a doubt, the biggest pro to me for the Pineville community, and a lot of people that love the Pineville community, is the community. That community feel, the downtown Pineville area has that real homey feel as you're driving through the downtown. It has that sense of community, the nice restaurant there. It really does have a nice downtown. By downtown, it's got that drive down that you kind of have the restaurants on the left or right, or some storefronts down there. And as you keep going, that community feel continues with the parks. I love the Pineville Lake Park that's right there in Pineville. It's got obviously the lake there, but also has playgrounds, really nice playgrounds, and they'll have different community events that take place there. And it's just got a lot going on for a community feel, like I said, in the downtown and surrounding Pineville area. And that's definitely a big pro when you're looking for a place that you want to call home and feel like it's home. Pineville has that going on, and you'll see it as you drive through, especially the downtown Pineville area. So we're just going to go all over the place with the pros and the cons. The next pro that I look at as I'm working with clients that are looking in the Pineville area is the affordability. Pineville is, when it comes to home prices, affordability for whether it's a single family home, it's a townhouse, a condo. When you're looking at Charlotte in general, the affordability of Pineville is really in line with where prices of the general Charlotte area in that $400,000 to $500,000 range. You're going to find, if that's your budget, even less than that, you're going to find homes that are a lot nicer than you would think. So looking just right down the line, if you go over to Ballantyne, that same home, or even into some parts of Fort Mill, the surrounding area, Pineville has a very affordable price point. And some of it has to do with when you're looking at, like I mentioned, the schools aren't as highly ranked as if you drive over to Ballantyne or into parts of Fort Mill, South Carolina. So you do have some of that trade-off, but the affordability, for example, is definitely going to be better in some cases than they will in just some surrounding areas that affordability is skyrocketed. Like I mentioned, some of those areas, a little farther you go east to Ballantyne or south into some parts of Fort Mill, you just have prices that are really in line in Pineville. And then when you're looking at those prices and you're talking about the price points over in, like I mentioned, Ballantyne and the surrounding area, that appreciation in Pineville is not nearly what it is in some of those areas where that price point, there's a reason why it's gotten so high, is because that appreciation just keeps going up. And the homes, there's new homes going up in areas around Pineville. Pineville, you'll see, as you're looking at homes on the market, there's not nearly as much development going on in terms of new homes coming up, high-end homes. A lot of the homes are, when the boom in Pineville of new construction, really is probably the early 2000s, late 90s, where you'll see a lot of the homes that are on the market are that early, like I mentioned, 2000s. So there's not that, not to say there's not new homes that are being built in Pineville, but it's not nearly, if you're looking for new homes, high-end homes, the first place isn't going to be Pineville that pops up on your map, more than likely. So you're not going to see as many new homes, high-end homes in the Pineville area as you will in the surrounding areas, but you are going to see some more affordable homes with all the positives I mentioned that Pineville is going to bring to the table, but there's also the downside of not nearly as high appreciating in-demand home sales or homes in Pineville as you would some of the other areas that we've discussed. So let's recap: convenience, community, amenities, nightlife, affordability. You have all those things in the Pineville area with the drawbacks of schools not as highly ranked, traffic. There's trade-offs either way. I think Pineville is a great area to check out to see if it's a good fit for you. I'm happy to answer questions, share all the good, the bad of living in any area in South Charlotte. I'm really interested in your feedback. What do you think of Pineville? What is it that you find interesting or you'd like to learn more about a place like Pineville? We love South Charlotte, passionate about it. There's so much going on. There's so many communities like Pineville that have their own feel to them that you really have to experience to get the true gist of what they have to offer. Definitely interested in your feedback. Make sure to share that with us down below. And thank you so much for joining us on our overview of the pros and cons of living in the Pineville area in South Charlotte. I'm Steve Jarrell with the Longleaf Group. Make sure you reach out, share feedback, let us know if you have questions. We absolutely love them, answering them, helping you every step of the way. All of our information is down below, so make sure you reach out and share your feedback. Once again, I'm Steve Jarrell, and until next time, we will see you then.